Today on Rappler, President Aquino accepts the resignation of Police Chief Alan Purisima. Interior Secretary Mar Roxas denies asking President Aquino to fire Purisima. And Taiwanese aviation experts call the pilot of the TransAsia plane a hero. Hello and welcome. I'm Maria Ressa. This is Rappler's Wrap for the Day, a list of the most important events around the world you shouldn't miss. Two senior government sources tell Rappler President Aquino announced to about a dozen key cabinet members he accepts the resignation of suspended Police Chief Alan Purisima. However, Purisima's lawyer says as far as he knows, Purisima has not resigned. Purisima's under preventive suspension for corruption allegations. Despite his suspension, Purisima was still calling the shots in a terrorist manhunt that ended in the death of 44 elite cops in Mamasapano, Maguindanao last January 25. The resignation comes as Interior Secretary Mar Roxas denies charges he demanded the president fire Purisima and Executive Secretary Paquito Ochoa last Tuesday. The bloodbath pushes the rivalry and animosity between the Philippine military and the police to the forefront as chiefs from both sides trade accusations. In a press con Thursday, Acting Police Chief Leonardo Espina lashes out at the Moro Islamic Liberation Front, or the MILF, for what he called overkill in Mamasapano. Special forces, surrounded and overpowered, came under rebel fire for 12 hours.
Pinatay nila ang tao ko. Hindi demanda namin silang lahat. Who are culpable, who are liable. Demanda namin silang lahat.
Espina on Thursday says the looting adds insult to injury.
Hindi inyo yan, tatandaan nyo, may usapin tayong peace process. Kung sino man po dito ang ayaw ng gera, kami po yun. We are always for peace. Overkill ito. Pininis pa ninyo yung mga tao ko. Kaya, yung mga gamit namin, isoli nyo. We demand that you return it to us.
The Philippine government and the MILF are in back-channel talks for the return of the weapons. The MILF is under intense pressure to prove its sincerity after the deadly clash, which occurred in one of its strongholds. A Rappler exclusive. Top terrorist Zulkifli bin Hir, or Marwan, evaded arrest for more than a decade by marrying into at least 3 families. REN-REN DONGON is the brother of one of Marwan's Filipina wives, the widow of another high-ranking Abu Sayyaf commander, the Abu Sulaiman. In February 2012, DONGON and Marwan survived a U.S. smart bomb dropped by the Philippine Air Force in Parang Sulu. By June 2012, the brothers-in-law relocated to central Mindanao, where DONGON learned to build bombs. Later, Marwan asked DONGON to build 2 explosives that targeted the Cagayan de Oro office of media company GMA7 for showing a film that angered the Muslim world, The Innocence of Islam. The second IED failed to detonate because DONGON's companion forgot to turn on the power source. For the full details, read exclusive Marwan's Ties That Bind, REN-REN DONGON on Rappler.com. The Philippines files 2 protests against China in the disputed Panatag Shoal in the West Philippine Sea or the South China Sea. The Department of Foreign Affairs, or the DFA, says the incident damaged the vessels and endangered the lives of Filipino fishermen on Panatag Shoal. It adds China was also collecting giant clams in disputed waters. Taiwanese aviation experts call the pilot of the TransAsia plane a hero for steering the plane away from populated areas and high-rise buildings. The aircraft had 53 passengers and 5 crew on board when it crashed February 4th. Taiwanese rescuers are scouring the river for 12 people still missing. 15 survived the crash, including a toddler. Reports say the father was able to pull his wife to safety and then resuscitate his son after spotting him in the water, blue and unresponsive. The family was originally seated on the heavily damaged side of the plane, but had asked to switch the seats on a hunch. This video shows another family with a toddler being rescued. The child was pulled alive from the wreckage and lifted into an inflatable boat. Authorities say the death toll is at least 31, with more bodies located, including those of the pilot and co-pilot. U.S. news anchor Brian Williams admits that a story he's often repeated on air about coming under fire in Iraq was not true. Williams, who anchors NBC Nightly News, says he was not in the aircraft that was fired on, but, quote, was instead in a following aircraft. Williams last repeated the story January 30th in a tribute to a retired soldier involved in protecting the helicopter. The crew members of the Chinook chopper and Williams aircraft exposed the lie in interviews with media. Williams explains the story was, quote, a bungled attempt to thank veterans, those who have served, while I did not. For those on desktop, click on the links on your screen. You can also click on the tabs below to go to a story in the video. And for those on smartphones and tablets, the links can be found below the video. Every story on Rappler has a mood meter in our patented user engagement model. That mood meter gives you 8 emotions to choose from. If we look at today's Mood Navigator, you can see that the story that's gotten the most number of votes in the last 24 hours is this one, The Trial of Chris Aquino. An oldie but goodie, I suppose. It's 40% amused, that blue bringing out the mood of the day. Today, most people are amused. Well, that is the wrap for today, Thursday, February 5, 2015. Visit Rappler.com for the latest news here and around the world. Check out our other shows, Tech Wrap and Rappler Talk, and if you haven't yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm Maria Ressa. As we say at Rappler, tomorrow begins today.